Hello, guys, and welcome to the Claret Lounge. Once again, it's been another busy week in the Claret world. I once again do it with Connor. Welcome back, Connor.
Hello, thanks for having me back.
Right, Connor, let's get straight into the topic of the week. Hemel away this last weekend. We started so well. Once again, we started so well and played quite well for the majority of the game. City taking
Yeah,
a 2-0 lead early on, and it looked like we could have gone with 3 or 4-0 in the end, but the same old problem again, wasn't it, Connor? What happened in your opinion?
I think first half, like one of the best halves of football I've seen Chelmsford play for quite a long time, and we absolutely dominated Hemel during that
Yeah.
first half. Sheringham, absolutely brilliant first half. He was getting his goal great, and then he had some other good
Link up as well.
chances.
Yeah.
I guess that was the only questionable bit on him. Like a couple of them could potentially done a bit better,
Yeah.
but like in terms of the midfield, that was where we sort of won that first half.
Yeah, we saw a change of
Like,
shape, didn't we? Change of shape this weekend as well. Change of shape,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, it was. It was 4-3-3, which I think really suited them, especially having Matty Rush on there. The amount of like the pace he has and the energy he's got.
Yeah.
Hemel was struggling with it so much because he would close down their midfield and back line so quickly that they were panicky at the back, especially in that first half. And then, I think some of the most notable players in that first half that you really got to give credit to was, I think, Ches Isaac
Yeah, my man of the
was
match. My man of the match, he was.
outstanding in that first half. Won sort of every duel pretty much he faced in that first half. He even showed a bit of skill and flair to get some uh like keep the ball in play and keep attacks going. Solid defensively, and him with Dara, they were absolutely. And then Dunn was great with his passing to help with distribution, but then Dara and Isaac were just so good in getting interceptions, winning the ball back, winning duels. Chelmsford didn't really get tested too much in the first half, but I think a lot of that was also down to Aluwo. He was aerially, he was like even in the second half, he was absolutely immense aerially and clearing his lines. For me, he was probably man of the match. But I think in that game, it had to be for me, it was between him, Isaac, and Matty Rush.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, second half, it was a different story, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Went 2-0 up. We made a substitution. I don't know if it was the right time to make a sub. Maybe Louis was carrying a knock or a bit tired, but I don't know. Was it a strange time after scoring a goal to make a sub? I don't know. People thought like not at the right time. I think we brought on Pong. Well, I was quite surprised that he was left out of the team on Saturday. I looked at the team sheet. I was like, okay. And Louis Dunn, he played really well. Louis Dunn. I was surprised at the time because we just scored a goal, went 2-0 up. Maybe I thought we could kept it for a few minutes just to see how it goes. Then something happens. They got the other end of the score straight away. They put the pressure straight back onto us. So
I think we did straight as we started that second half. Though it was completely different to the first half. Like suddenly going into the second half, and I did watch the Simpsons post-match interview. Like he said, it wasn't his instructions to tell them to play sort of counter-attacking football, but that's what they seemed to do. Suddenly, straight going into that second half, and it did work out in the end because, like as we saw, Blackwell and Rush with their pace, they can play that counter-attacking football, and that was another great goal. Open play, like brilliant cross by Blackwell to get to Rush and slotted it in. But yeah, you got to really question. Well, potentially the subs, but I think the bigger thing is also you can't be letting in two sort of very similar set piece goals like that.
Sorry, it's a joke on Oh. Yeah, it's the same. It's been the same sort of goals for the past 2 weeks. The same sort of sloppiness. I felt our passing was a bit sloppy at times in the second half as well. Some balls weren't being done simply like that. I just felt we still look a threat going forward, but defensively we look like as soon as the first goal went in, we looked like, oh no, never seeing at the back. You know?
Yeah, I think. But one thing you got to give credit to the team. Once it did go 2-2, the only side who looked like they was going to score next was Chelmsford.
Yeah.
They didn't drop. They went for it still. Dara got very close at the end. I honestly jumped up at one point thinking he was going to chip the keeper, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. I think at the end of the day, you got to look at it. 1 point away, it is a good.
It's 2 points dropped though, isn't it? It's 2 points dropped from winning position though.
Yeah, it was 2 points dropped from that position. Fortunately enough, Ricky and Welling did both lose.
Yeah.
Had they both won, it would have been that would have been worrying. Tonbridge now, after seeing that performance, I'm hopeful against Tonbridge, because if we go into that playing that 4-3-3, which I think that is something that can really work. It seemed to really suit Sheringham because he can lay off to if he can try and help set up Blackwell or Rush, but also Rush and Blackwell playing slightly wider with their pace really suits them, and Blackwell is good at getting those crosses in as well, which then suits Sheringham. It all like complements them up front, and I think that's something we've been lacking the goals. That is a system that could potentially get us the goals we need going forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one thing I did notice second half. Hemel really targeted the side Faz and Bradshaw were on. I think they realised that they weren't getting by Ade and Cameron James because they were just really solid, and Ade was, well, he was absolutely superb that game. So you suddenly notice that all their traffic, I think especially with Blackwell starting to tire later into the second half, him tiring, so not potentially getting back as much to support Vaz, and then Vaz and Bradshaw, I think potentially what you need between Ade and Vaz in Bradshaw's position, that's where you need a more experienced centre back to just sort of give that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because it's just on that side, it was I think it got shown for its inexperience. Like, to be fair, I think Bradshaw did have a good game overall. Yeah. I think Hemel just sort of noticed Chelmsford's a slight weakness on that side. I think Vaz being a shorter fullback as well. I think they thought, okay, let's put everything down that side. That's where they won quite a few set pieces in the second half. Fair play to them for grinding that result back, but that was Chelmsford who sort of threw away that game.
Yeah. Talking about now, we're obviously 2 points off relegation, 3 points if we go 3 points actually. You know, do you think City has a good chance we could go down still, or do you think we're sort of safe right now?
Well, yeah, there's definitely a big threat. You can go down because we're on same games played as Ricky and Welling, and I think right now, as I see it, I still do think Welling will be the ones who go down. I didn't go to the Welling game, but watching the highlights, they weren't like, it was just a very poor game in general, that game, and they got their goal and just did everything they did afterwards and I think a lot of it was just Chelmsford not being good that game.
100%.
They've got quite a hard run of fixtures leading towards the end, whereas we do have games where we can and we
Tonbridge,
should
St
be getting
Albans coming up, haven't we? And Billericay. So 3 both winnable games, you know. So
yeah. Whereas Welling next got Ebbsfleet. I think even if we can get a point with Tonbridge and then Welling like losing, if they lose to Ebbsfleet, I think being 3 points above, that'll help sort of like, I think, make things feel a bit safer.
yeah,
But I think one other thing you do have to look at is, I think come the end of season, one thing that will start to show, hopefully, usually does, is goal difference. Chelmsford's goal difference isn't actually that, like, for what the goal difference is, we should be a fair bit higher. We haven't actually been conceding like
lots.
that many.
Yeah.
Whereas Welling's goal difference is very bad. They've conceded more than just over twice the amount of what they've scored.
We still lost that.
And I don't see that changing too much. Like, of course, now they're in that relegation scrap. They are going to be a lot more defensive for the rest of the season. They're probably not going to concede as many, but I still think they're probably going to concede most games. And I am quite hopeful just after the Hemel game, just because I think that formation, how it worked, the 4-3-3, if we continue, I think hopefully that can give a player like Matty Rush quite a lot of confidence.
He was sharing him some confidence as well. So
exactly, those were some crucial. Like, all of our 3 front players got involved. Like Blackwell with the assist as well.
And Blackwell, what a player! What a player he's coming out to be for us. He's been outstanding this side of Christmas. You know, outstanding. He's been a player. If there's a player of the season this year, he'll be up there for me. I know people like Jackson's been consistent, but he's been out injured for a large part. He's been consistent, really good.
Oh, well, yeah, well, he had, like, when Jackson got injured, Blackwell has stood up to that and rose to that challenge. And if we stay up, that is, like, Blackwell is sort of, like, going to be one of probably the main people responsible for helping Chelmsford stay up, because him at such a young age, rising to the occasion, and just like, you watch him, his movement, and how he's just like,
he's
at
hungry.
such a young age,
He's hungry for it, isn't he? He wants
it.
it.
And he's clinical as well. He knows. He just, like, whenever he shoots, you know it's going to be on target at least usually, and I'd say, like, when he is in front, like, if there was anyone who got in a 1-on-1 with the keeper and I had to pick anyone, I would say I'd want that person to be Blackwell.
Yeah.
Because he just knows how to find the back of the net when he is in front of goal.
Yeah, agree with you. I just hopefully we can bring back Jackson to the squad. He hits some good form. We'll help the younger players. Because I think we missed that sort of mentorship from the Jacksons and from Winfield at the back. There's a bit more experience to help the young players, and hopefully we can get some results going. Because I reckon if we get a few goals Saturday, confidence going into St Albans. St Albans is not an easy place to go to. There's no easy games in this league, but St Albans not in good form. But hopefully we go to St Albans and beat them, and then beat Billericay on Bank Holiday Monday. Not getting carried away here. We'd be happy. I think we'd be safe. But big ifs.
But I think crucial thing is, like, Chelmsford do stay up, then I think it's going to be next season. I think I'm going to be very excited to see more of Blackwell, because I think this Chelmsford squad, where it is very young at the moment, if we stay up and then they get a full pre-season together, I think that could be really, really crucial for them. But right now, all we can do is take it game by game, because each game going forward now is a cup final.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
For us.
Yeah.
So
hopefully we'll stay up. Hopefully. Just sort of got on to off-field matters. I spoke about last week with Andrew Palmer. We had a Claret Change campaign, movement, what we call it. We can confirm today, and the minute is out for public to see. The meeting took part yesterday with 2 members from the club, the chairman and the manager, and 2 members from the supporters club. You had 3 people from the Claret Change. 1 person who's made notes, and the 2 other people who are speaking. It looks good. I've got the minutes in front of me. It looks positive. You know, I will probably have some more information over the next few weeks. If not this episode here, I might have an interview later on, but maybe not. I'm not too sure at the minute. But it sounds positive. It looks like good information on the minutes. I think we can't get carried away, because it's great to see this done, but we need to see action happen. You know, so I ain't get carried away. I ain't get negative, but I can't be too positive about it at the same time, because it's great to see it on paper, but it needs to be action behind it as well. I've been highly, opinionated about everything at the club over the past few weeks, but I'm hoping this is the start of something, a new change for the club. So I'm sitting here saying hopefully it's a change, and I know that I think there's been a united fan base definitely over the past couple of weeks supporting the boys, and trying to cheer on the victory, and hopefully we'll now be a united football club in the whole how way it's ran and how it's on and off the pitch. That's what we want end of the day. And one last thing I'm going to read could be a EGM for the supporters club as well over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And they're hopefully, according to this, could be either the supporters on the board coming over the next few months as well. So that'd be something positive as well. Have supporters' voices heard from the board level. So there's a lot more, but I don't go on too much about it, just in case that someone comes on and talks about it in a bit more detail. So I've got minutes in front of me. So I think we're going to end it there today. I feel a bit positive way that meetings happen, so it's a bit positive. It's hopefully we can see the actions, from these meetings actually happen. So, yeah, Connor, if you want to add.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to add, we was both at the Hemel game, and one thing you definitely can't question right now is the Chelmsford City supporters still support for the club, even despite all the things going on off field and the results. I believe the coach ended up selling out 3 days before the game happened. And the amount of away fans there, we were for a lot of the game well out singing the Hemel crowd, and there was a great amount of support. And everyone, at the end of the day, everyone was cheering along, having a good time, and everyone is still, despite what's happening off the field and with the results, you can tell all the fans are still well behind the players and will be all the way to the end of the season, whatever happens.
Agreed, yeah. I think that's something we said from day one, that we will support players for freaking pin. So, yeah, I think it's a good place to end it. Once again, guys, big thanks to Connor coming in today as well. I don't know what to do this for, but thanks to Connor coming in today. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like the content, make sure you talk about it, share it on social media, subscribe if you want to. This is the Claret Lounge. This is your city. This is your club. I'll see you next week, guys.